Hello and welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Lauren. This is Acting Classes in Perth. You're watching episode number 15 of the Acting Classes in Perth Daily Show. It's an absolute pleasure to have you joining us. The Daily Show is a show where I sit down every single day at 7 p.m. and answer all your acting-related questions 7 days a week here on Facebook Live and YouTube Live simultaneously. Now, a huge thank you if you are already joining us here on live. It's an absolute pleasure that you are with us. Now, today's question comes in from Luke, but before we get to that question, let's roll the intro. Okay, so today's question comes into us from Luke. But before we get into that, if you are watching us, please give us a big thumbs up. Hello, thank you so much for joining us. It means a heck of a lot. We would also love to hear from you. Leave a comment or ask a question in the comments field. If you don't have a question, don't have a comment, just say hello. Thank you so much for being here. Now I would like to jump straight into today's question, which comes to us from Luke. Luke, what's your question for today, mate?
Hey Lauren, it's Luke here. What is the best way to remember your lines? Thanks, man. Thanks for asking my questions. Have a good day.
Luke, thank you so much. It's a great question, and it's one we get a lot at our Level 1 weekend workshop here at Acting Classes in Perth. Now, the reason behind it being such a common question, I think, is people are so afraid of having to remember, a couple of pages of dialogue, and how am I going to do that? I'm not someone who remembers lots of dialogue, and you have to remember that dialogue is always kind of learned or known or used in relation, in reference to other parts of that dialogue. So it actually becomes quite easy to develop the quick dialogue learning skills that we teach later on in more advanced courses. But early on, what I would say to you, Luke, is start off and number one, read it. You want to read the script as often, as many times as you can, so that you can get a detailed understanding and get an understanding, most importantly, for the story, right? And then the flow and the arc of that story. So the flow of the story, and then more importantly, the arc of the characters that take place or that are in that story, okay? So number one, read it. Number two, I would like you to grab your iPhone or your smartphone, and what you're going to do is you're going to record the entire script just in audio. Audio is fine, like a memo record or an audio recorder on your iPhone. If you're on an Android phone, download an app. And what you're going to do is record from the start to the end, continuously, every character's dialogue, and you can read it, or you can just read your dialogue and have the other actor or actors in the scene read their dialogue. So basically you'd just be doing a read through, right, from start to end, with a bit of emotion, a bit of feeling, not really dry. And then what you're going to do when you're traveling home from class, or traveling home from set, or after an audition, or after rehearsal, whatever it is, on your travel, right, home, and then also the next time too. So any time that you can allocate. Number one, travel. Number two, if you're having some downtime, if you are having lunch, whatever it is, right, and you're going to play it from top to bottom, from head to tail, continuously. You're going to play it, and you are just going to soak in all that information, right? Number three is I would like for you to do another recording at the same time you're doing the first recording there. And what I want you to do with that is you're going to have the other character or characters read their lines. If you can't get them to do that, you're going to read their lines or have someone else read them. And you're going to read it from top to tail, from start to end, right? You're going to read it, but you're going to leave spaces in the recording long enough where your dialogue is, so that when you go back and you push record, the scene is going to play out in the recording, and what's going to happen is all the other characters or just the other character in the scene is going to have their dialogue playing, and then there's going to be a pause or a space where your dialogue is in that recording. And to start with, you're just going to grab the first half page, right? And you're going to try to learn that by putting it in. You're going to be listening for the cues from the previous section of dialogue that feeds you in, okay? And you're going to do that half a page. Then once you've got half a page down, do a full page, then a page and a half, however long the scene is, right? So that is really effective. Then the last thing is you're going to utilize the first recording, which is everyone's lines, and put that on repeat, put that on replay when you go to sleep, headphones in, lay down on your pillow and click play on repeat. It's going to go over and over. It's going to sink right into your subconscious as you go down into your sleep cycles. I've actually had students who have done very little prep, but they've done that going off to sleep. They got up the next day, they knew their lines so well. Now, I wouldn't rely just on that. Of course, I want you to be as prepared as you can. Make sure you're doing it awake as well. But they would be the top tips and techniques, mate, I would get you using to develop your lines and learn your lines early on as a beginner actor. Now, before I finish up with that, I also want to say that make sure that you are getting your lines down, right? So you're learning all your dialogue before you go on and start doing really advanced character development skills. Because once you are in tune with your dialogue, once you know your dialogue, you are then free from having to think what to say as the character you're developing, right? You have the words that your character speaks, and you can actually use those sentences and use that dialogue to help explore your character through character development, emotionally, psychology, through their physiology, through their movement, through their blocking, through their physicality and posture, everything, right? So very, very important to get that dialogue down before you go on and start exploring all the other areas of your character development process. Thank you so much for sending in this question. It was absolutely awesome. It was an absolute pleasure to answer it. Now, if you liked the question as well, please click the share button and help out your fellow actor. And if you are watching us on Facebook, be sure to like and follow our page. We will keep you updated with posts as they become available. If you're watching us, however, on YouTube, simply click the subscribe button and then be sure to click the notifications bell so that you are staying connected with every single video as it comes out live on YouTube. If you're listening to us on iTunes, be sure to click the subscribe button and then we will keep you updated with new episodes as they come out. Thank you so much for joining us. I will see you again tomorrow at 7 p.m. for another awesome question answered by me. I'm Lauren Johnson here at Acting Classes in Perth. Until then, like always, stay safe and happy acting.